Welcome to part 2 of this recording about how Kenyans are being hassled and harassed actually on social media for expressing their views. Okay, in fact, even they're being harassed on social media for repeating what has already been reported in the mainstream press. Okay, now I was saying it is personal because even we had another blogger called Alai was arrested recently, and just investigate the circumstances around his arrest. What he was supposedly supposed to have been arrested for, and you'll see it's personal. It's to do something. It's something to do with the president's family. Okay, so this now becomes personal, and we run away from the constitution. The constitution is trashed. Bill of Rights, kitu gani hiyo? Yeah, we are just heading towards, not heading. We're already in a police state. Kenya is a dictatorship, a police state. Whether you want to believe it or not, that's where we are already. Now, I have a word for Jubilee supporters. Those people are always very quick to say, oh, you know, these people are inciting, arrest all of them, blah, blah, blah. Now, as I've told you, I grew up a cop's son, yeah? And so I was very used to this, cops, walinipaguza makamasi, walinipeleka shule. The guys I was very used to, I was very comfortable around cops. In fact, what used to happen as I was growing up, and, we would maybe go out for a drink with the other guys and so on, as soon as they'd see a policeman around the corner, a man who was already this young man who was already very drunk, pombe yote napotea kwa kichwa, the guy starts ducking. And I used to wonder, what's this about? And, I just used to be confident and, these are just cops, I was so used to them, yeah. In fact, in one very interesting incident, the people I was with all disappeared. And then the policeman came up and I walked so confidently up to them, I said hi and I passed. And, they were they must have thought, who's this, Anyway, so I had one incident whereby I was just starting out my career as a journalist, and it's a very long story, so I'm going to cut it short. I'd just gotten out of school a few months earlier, and I was just trying now to start out my career. And, this policeman came to the office. I was not in. Of course, plain clothes. Those days it was a special branch, I was not in, so they came in and they left a message. They said they'd be back. So when I came in, I was told some policemen were looking for you. I didn't even panic. I was so cool. I said, oh, okay, maybe it's something to do with the story I was doing. At that time, actually, I was writing a story about a traffic policeman who had been run over by a matatu. So I thought maybe it's something to do with that. So I just relaxed. And sure enough, after a few minutes, they came back. They talked to me very politely. That was a special branch those days, equivalent of NIS nowadays. So they told me, can we step outside to talk? So I assumed maybe we were going to sit in a restaurant, but as we got out, we walked, and then I saw their Land Rover. Now, as I told you, immediately I saw the Land Rover, I knew who these guys were, because Special Branch used to use some grey Land Rovers those days. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I learned very quickly during the trip downtown, to their torture chambers, that these were not the friendly guys ambao walikuwa wananipanguza makamasi, and that my being confident with them had absolutely zero to do with it. Could not help me at that time. Okay, in fact, I got into a very terrible situation whereby they got me into a room. They were asking me to confess something which I didn't know. As I told you, it was a case of mistaken identity. These were the terrible days of the Mwakenya purge on Kenyans. They got me into a room, and one of them was armed with a revolver, just a small gun. But I was a naive young person straight out of school. That really scared me. They asked me to strip naked, completely naked, and then they told me that if I was not going to tell them what they wanted to know, they'd just shoot me dead and take me to the mortuary, like they did to so many other people. They had done to so many other people at the same place. And you can imagine me, just a young boy out of school, trying to be a big journalist. I was scared, and of course I had no option but kusahau wanaume wangu, and I went down on my knees and pleaded with the tears and told them that I knew nothing, that blah 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 blah. Life, that's life. Anyway, the point of me telling you this story is that in fact that time my late dad, God rest his soul, was still in the police. He was very senior, extremely senior. And of course, he was not able to help me at all. In fact, in a very, before that harassment, what they used to do is they take you from police station to police station. They keep switching you so that nobody will be able to find you. Because when they picked me from the office, they took me to one police station. After a few hours, they take you to another police station. You're a political prisoner, those days. Anyway, so in one police station, I managed to make a call. And those days there were no mobile phones, but I was lucky enough to reach my dad on phone. And I'll never forget what my dad told me. He told me, son, if you had stolen a lot of money from a bank at gunpoint, I might have been able to help you. Even if you had murdered somebody, I might have been able to help you. But you have gotten yourself mixed up with people who report directly to the president. There's nothing I can do. Okay? Now I'm telling that story for the benefit of Jubilee people who are very busy cheering, saying, wacha watu wanasa wanaswe. Yeah? What will happen tomorrow, the same thing will happen to you. And I can assure you, and take this to the bank, you'll not be able to tell those goons who arrest you that you're a Jubilee person and that you voted for President Uhuru. That won't work. Because I'll give you a very good recent example. Robert Alai is a Jubilee person. He was also arrested recently. Yes. He cooled his heels in behind bars for a while. And everybody knows Robert Alai is a Jubilee dam. It didn't help him. Yes. So that's what happens in a country where the constitution is trashed. Yes. There's nobody who is safe. And my heart goes out to this young, very potential blogger. I hope the police are going to release her soon, because they're absolutely holding her for nothing. Okay? They should probably arrest Raila Odinga first, because he's the one who brought the Vifaranga thing. Yeah, apparently one of the reasons she's being held is because she called President Uhuru the Kifaranga president. Yeah, arrest Raila because he's the one who came up with that. Or even arrest Professor Nyang first, because he's the one who he has also said, he has been quoted as saying that the police were dropping bodies inside Lake Victoria. Yeah, which is a report which you have from several eyewitnesses. Okay, but then Kenya now is a police state, so it does not matter whether it's a truth or not. Usifungue mdomo, keep your mouth shut. This is a police state, this is a dictatorship. Okay, folks, the long and short of it is that the constitution, which so many people died, so much Kenyan blood was poured for, has now been trashed. It is absolutely useless. It's just a paper. Yeah, because if a blogger can just be arrested for nothing, yes, or arrested for repeating something about the president that an opposition leader has said, what is that? Isn't that a police state? Yeah, I don't know what our country is coming to. Okay, but this is a heads up for Jubilee guys. Be careful, jichungeni, because when you get on the wrong side of these guys, ole wewe, ole wako. I hope I said that right. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.